and welcome back to Road to Arceus. This, of course, is the series where we try and get to Arceus. So we last left off in the Alakazam rank. There was the ladder reset, right? So I had to take my time to go back to Alakazam, and that's why we have those extra 10 rank points. And in the meantime, actually built some extra decks. I built a Charizard EX deck because I wanted to just try it out and really give it a proper go and see what all the fuss is about. I know, I went to the dark side. I didn't have fun. I did it on stream. And yeah, by the way, all of these, most of these episodes, I think, if not all, are going to be streamed now on Twitch, recording them. And I also just streamed like the journey back up to Alakazam, and that's why I was playing Charizard. It was just my head hurt after playing it for too long, so I got a bit bored and I built a different deck, which is the deck we're going to be playing in today's episode. That is Dialga VSTAR, just winning Indianapolis with Andrew Hedrick, and this is an absolute wonderful thing for me because it's my favorite deck. I obviously, for those who know, the members will know, my first ever deck I built in real life, I'll reveal it now, is Dialga VSTAR. I built Dialga. I was on the Dialga train before everyone else. Yeah, I'm special, I am. But in all seriousness, it was an absolute great blast to watch. I did a little watch along with Discord. That was fun. So I thought, if there's ever a time to do Road to Arceus and to play a deck that I like, it's now. So we're going to be actually covering Andrew Hendrick's list by playing it. And also, sorry if I say Hendrick. I'm so used to saying Hendrick, so I might mess up with that a little bit. I've got a friend with that surname, so it throws me off. But Andrew Hendrick's list to see how it plays. The one I have has a max belt, this one. And I also have a Cypher Maniac, which I think is quite cool. But this one is just straight Dialga. So we're going to be playing it there. There's someone who followed me on Twitch at the point in time. I had to turn those alerts off because they do look a bit goofy. It's like me kicking a Pikachu forever. But we are trying in this video to get to Corviknight rank. So we are Alakazam. We're going to go up 2 ranks to Corviknight. And then afterwards, that'll leave us with 2 ranks left to then go for a Zelf. And I might be playing Dialga for a while because Dialga is like my favorite deck. I absolutely love the deck. I vibe with it. I understand its sequencing more than any other deck. I've learned a lot about it by watching it and just playing it in my own time. So this is the deck I'm most comfortable with. This is the deck I enjoy the most, and it's looking to be one of the top tier decks as well. So it seems like the perfect time for me to also start playing IRL and locals and stuff because I absolutely love Dialga. But we are playing Dialga here, playing Gholdengo, and Gholdengo's actually quite easy so long as you just don't let him get ahead. And that's what's happening here. We're just setting up, developing our board, and just making sure we have enough to do what we need to do. Going to go for a Mew EX there. We get the boss, Rod, and Iono. Seems like I'm eyeing up the boss, and there you go. So I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm going to boss up Gimmighoul and take that bad boy out. And I'm sitting there going, right, well, obviously I take out the Gimmighoul because then he can't attack next turn. That's 2 prizes. So then if they get another 2 prizes down, like a Palkia V, if I can get Boss Chronos on Palkia V, then all I've got to do is take out 2 prizes after that and I win the game. So that's why I kind of want to go for the boss instead of drawing more cards, developing my board and trying to find Chronos quicker. Because it was like, well, I kind of need to. But they go for the Prime Catch and a Judge. So they're sitting there going, also Judge and Gimmighoul. Bruh. Gholdengo, sorry, not Gimmighoul. But then they judge me into a boss and there's that Dialga. So I'm like, oh, we could, if we get some lucky hits here and draw well, we could get a boss Chronos on that Palkia. And I think that's kind of what I'm eyeing up and thinking about here. I was streaming this as well, so obviously talking to chat on top of that. But I decided to go all in and take the risk saying, all right, okay, I need 3 energy here. 1 to attach. No, actually, no, I need 4, right? 1 attach. No, 1, 2. Yeah, I need 3. So I'm kind of sitting there going, right, I need to do this. I go for a restart because I wanted to see if I can just kind of thin out a little bit more. But yeah, we did whiff it. Completely forgot to do the other Metang earlier. So unfortunately, I had to go for I forgot the attack's called, but the one that charges up your Dialga. Kind of give him a chance to get into this. But thankfully, we had that 2 prize lead. So with that 2 prize lead, we're kind of chilling, you know? Fine to get the KO, but all I need to do then is somehow take 2 prizes and then 1 at KO a Gholdengo or a Palkia, which isn't that difficult. Especially if I could Chronos a single prizer and boss it up again, that would be a good prize route. But as it stands, here's an interesting question. Would you, if you're able to fully charge up this Dialga, would you Chronos or would you just Oko the Palkia? I think it would make sense. I don't know if I don't remember what I did, even though I just streamed this. But if I remember correctly, I don't think I did do this, but it would make sense for me to try and get Oko and Palkia and then just follow up with a Chronos with another Dialga. It seems like I might be going for that play. Just going, yeah, I'm going to load up my Dialga now. Unless I instead go for Chronos 1-hit KO. Oh, yeah, no, that makes more sense. I Chronos, 1-hit KO Palkia. Oh, I do have the Prime Catch, though. I'm thinking about this and eyeing up what I do. I'm eyeing up, do I go for the Gholdengo here? Prime up the Gholdengo, take it out, because that way they have to work a little bit harder to OHKO my active Dialga. That said, all they have to do really is just bench for a Palkia and take a 1-hit knockout. But I think it was just safer that way. Also limits their draw a little bit more. So I do go for the Chronos there. Not the best Chronos, but I can load up a Dialga, and I need, I think, 6 energy on each in order to OHKO anything that comes up. Or, OHKO anything that comes up. And I'm thinking, right, okay, do I want to save this boss? Now, what I was contemplating here was like, do I research and just try and further develop my board? Or do I hold the hand and just have the boss here? Because I'm thinking, well, if I take this knockout here, they're probably going to promote a single prize, so then I want the boss, right? But in the same breath, I'm like, well, actually, in order to KO me, they need to bring up a Palkia or Gholdengo, which means I don't need to boss. So should I then research to try and dig a little bit more for that Dialga VSTAR, so then I can follow up and win? So I'm like, I don't know. And I was kind of right in that I should have researched, because in order to take up my Dialga, they had to bring up a non-single prize. And if they did bring up a single prize, I'd just attack it anyway. So I think holding that boss wasn't actually necessary, even though it seems correct. Just kind of my thought process there. Also, I'm going to be shuffling my cards behind the mic, so I'm sorry if you hear some shuffling going on. It's a great fidget for me to have when waffling for this bloody long, you know what I mean? But yeah, either way, they do come up with Gholdengo, and they are likely to be taking a knockout. And I'm now sitting there thinking, right, I need to find my Dialga. There's 2 Dialga in deck, 12 cards. My Metang's going to see the whole deck as well. So if I have energy in there, I can just Metang to thin out even more and just basically increase the odds of hitting that Dialga. I need to basically see all cards here. There's a potential way to see all cards with the Pokestop, Greninja, and Research, but I didn't want to Pokestop away Dialga and regret it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to bench that and yeah, go for the Greninja. We do get the Dialga, and that is the first dub against Gholdengo. Absolutely love to see it. So going into the next game, we have an Ultra Ball rank. Pay attention to the ranks in these games as we match up. It's interesting. It's interesting. You can see me there absolutely fidgeting like crazy, debating the Meowscarada or Beldum. The reason I go for Beldum and not Mew, because I had someone in the chat mention, why start the Beldum if the Mew's got free retreat? It's because you don't know what you're up against, right? If you're up against Zard, it's just problems. You know what I'm saying? Mew, I'd rather get rid of now. I have the rod to bring it back if I need to. I was contemplating the retreat there. Turn 1, you always want Dialga in the active, because I didn't know what I was playing against. So I'm like, what if they KO my Beldum? I don't want that. So I retreated. But yeah, and we're playing the Meow Cat. We're playing the cat, the Springatito. Playing Meowscarada here, that's kind of cool. It's kind of in our favor, obviously, because of the grass resistance. That helps. But I think we just go nicely into this matchup anyway. But yeah, don't start the Mew, because you never know. If you know what you're playing against, then yeah, then you can opt to start for the Mew. It's super dependent. But yeah, we did manage to pull off a Metang there and get a KO Dialga. Nothing crazy, no Chronos, but like the fact that we KO'd the Bidoof there, that was fun. And they are setting up, mind you. They're getting everything out. But that Rotom is a mistake. I mean, you've got the Barret, but you don't need that Rotom, bro. You know, you've now just given me a target. You've benched that Rotom, and now I'm sitting there going, right, I'm going to start Chronos boss that one as soon as I can. And there is a boss as well. It's not hard to find boss in this deck, which is really nice. And again, happy to take that Manaphy, because it brings me back in that prize trade of taking 2 prizes per turn. So obviously I took out the Bidoof, and I'm like, okay, take out the Manaphy. Now it's 4 prizes left. I can boss Chronos, the Rotom, and as soon as they come to Meowscarada, I should have enough on me anyway to OHKO it. So now I'm just like, again, developing my board, trying to make sure I hit my Metangs. We do hit there. There's the Chronos play. Failed that Metang, but then we boss up the Rotom, and we take it out. Super simple Dialga stuff. This is why I like Dialga. It's just so straightforward. And again, continuing to develop the board state. I'm getting to 7, because that's enough to KO the Meowscarada. Needed that Dialga, so we managed to pull that off. And now it's as simple as just KO anything and win, right? They could try boss trap me, but I have rods, energy. The trap isn't happening. Even if they get Meowscarada here, it's still very, very bleak. I mean, the best they can do is bring up something, and you see them try and do it here. In fact, they do it twice. I think they're obviously trying to fin Bibarel and get the most out of it, but they had to play a Turo there. Yeah, not great, man. Not great. They just scooped. They didn't find it, and that's another dub. Another Ultra Ball League play. This is proving some sort of theory, right? That there's ELO an underlying elo, because I'm matching up against a similar higher rank in Ultra Ball with such a low rank. I don't know if it's because from Great Ball to Ultra Ball, you know, and in that kind of area, you kind of match up within that realm, if you know what I mean. Like from rank, let's say 280 up to 700 is like you would match, if you're like anywhere in that rank range, you would match up between people in that rank. But then that's proven wrong because of a rank I match up against later on. So that doesn't make any sense. It seems to be elo based. It seems to be win streak based. You know, if you're on a good win streak, if you're winning a lot, they match up against higher ranked players, which is silly. I think you should just match up with who's in your rank. Obviously, the point of ranked is to match up with people in your rank. It shouldn't be about hidden elo, but there is an elo system, I think, at play here. It's not proven, obviously, but I think there's enough evidence to suggest that it is there. But this, look at this. You probably recognized we played against my own Darkrai VSTAR Turbo deck. This I was super excited about because I haven't played against my own deck in like ages. I haven't played against a deck I've made in a very long time. And to see this on ranked was so cool. It's so cool. And it is an interesting game. It's an interesting game. For those who don't know, I did a video recently on Turbo Darkrai with Jugulis. And the idea is to accelerate to the Jugulis with Reboot Pod and then reuse the Reboot Pod with Darkrai to get even more acceleration. So you go up damage output really fast in this deck, right? You actually you churn for your deck super fast too. It's really about hitting, you know, 300 damage, like turn 2, you know what I'm saying? 270, 300, 330, turn 2. Like it really just wants to hit massive numbers really fast. But it does, like any turbo deck, die out a lot in the late game if you're not prepared and if you're too hasty. If you're not careful with your Dialgas and you get rid of them very easily, you're going to run out of attackers. So you got to take care of your Dialgas. Dialgas. Did I say Dialgas? I meant to say Darkrai. Got to take care of your Darkrai's and go down that road. But they went for a Motivate, which I was like, bro, what are you doing? Don't do that. I don't think they had the KO. They might have. I don't know. But that Motivate was just incorrect because now you're sitting there going, right, you give me a chance to Chronos that? However, we tried Greninja, we tried the gear, and we whiffed. So luckily for them, we are dead drawing. And that's going to go a long way because they're going to have even more time to set up, even with the misplays they're making, to really storm ahead. And I'm just in awe. I'm like, oh my God, the deck's working. Not to say that I doubt it working, but it's nice to see a deck I've built, made a video on, actually operating outside of the video. Someone in the chat said that too, was like, you know, it's good to see my decks operating outside of the video because a lot of people think, oh, it's just a video. You know, the deck's not actually good. And, you know, it's going to happen with a lot of decks because I say you can't make top tier decks every day. Otherwise, you know, there wouldn't be such thing as a meta, right? Every deck would be amazing. But to see this actually working is quite nice. They get the Reboot Pods. Now, when they hit the pod, I was thinking you shouldn't V-Star power for it back. You've got no energy in the discard pile. There's no reason for it. You shouldn't V-Star the pod back because you don't need it, right? Then again, they had to. And the reason they had to was because they needed the switch. Because for some reason, they put up the Jugulis. Oh, no, I put up Jugulis, didn't I? Yeah, what am I waffling about? Yeah, they needed the switch. So they got the Reboot Pod back with the switch in order to allow them to come in and take a KO. And they hit here a massive 330. Mind you, the Zamazenta is also reducing by 30. So they actually hit 360, which is absolutely insane. So I'm intimidated now. I'm going, oh God, what do I do? So I'm sitting there going, right, I just need to try and pull something off here. I needed a boss, man. I really needed a boss and I needed something. But again, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not even a bloody Metang coming our way. What the hell, bro? It's ridiculous. And I know a lot of people are going to be thinking I'm throwing to make my V-Star deck look good. I can't choose my top decks. I didn't pay someone to shuffle my deck. You know what I'm saying? Paid actors, bro. No shots. They just take a KO. Thankfully, didn't go for a boss. That's what I was dreading. I was like, oh, they're going to boss me. And it's just... But they took the KO and that's actually fine because it gives us time to catch up. You know, if I have to like Chronos KO here, fine. That's okay. Like they should come back with another knockout and then I have to just try and catch up. Still doesn't feel great. I have to like get a Metang at the right time as well. Not Metang, sorry. What am I talking about? I have to get a Zamazenta at the right time as well. Like a Zamazenta KO on that Squawk is what I was eyeing up because that can offset the prize trade and make me go, okay, that's how I win. I, you know, get a Squawk KO and Just hope they ain't got a boss KO on something later on, you know? So we do go for it. Take out the I keep saying, I was gonna say Dialga, Darkrai. But it doesn't do much because they've still got the reboot pod and they've also got another Darkrai. So currently they're hitting 300. They don't even need to reboot pod right now. What they need to do is get a Dialga back into play. That's what they need to do. They're taking a while to promote here. I think they're thinking about what they do here. I would promote Dialga and just swing personally, but they promote the Jug. Now the thought process here is because, at least what I think, is they haven't got another Dialga. They were too hasty. They discarded a Dialga. As you can see, I checked there. They must have prized the Dialga V as well, because I think it's a 4-3 line. So they must have prized the Dialga V as well, unless it's 3-3. I think it's 4-3 of Dialga V to V-Star. And they just pass. So I was like, what? Okay, they've just given me a massive chance here. And I'm like, bro, I'm doing this. Hit the 6. That's enough to KO Darkrai and just boss KO Darkrai. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what was happening there. I don't know if they hit a bug. I don't know what happened there, but they ended up scooping. We got out of that one lucky. We should have lost that game. 100%, but they just passed up. But now we are in the Umbreon League, getting closer to Corviknight. In fact, 30 rank points away from it, if I'm correct. Not 30. No, 50. Yeah, 50 rank points away. It's 400? Yeah. So we're going to try and see if we can get there in this video. Again, that's the goal. But yeah, just want to shout out the streams, of course. Twitch.tv/ForTheWinTCG if you want to check it out. That's where I'll be doing my Road to Arceus videos. And from now on, I think, because it's fun to just stream it. And then just, you know, cut out the voice and stuff like that and go from there. I don't know if I want to leave the chat on the stream, on the screen, because the chat will be going by like a million miles an hour. But I kind of want to try it out, you know? I'm sure a lot of you might like to see a name pop up in the video and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. I'll debate on that. But another Gholdengo, interestingly enough, I'm trying to think about why there's so much Gholdengo on the ladder. You'd probably expect more Dialgas and Chien-Paos, but I've barely come up against any, which is weird. I think that, again, it's like, it's just proving some sort of theory, right? That the matchups you get are deck list dependent, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if they see Dialga V-Star and go, right, let's just increase the odds of hitting Gholdengo, you know? Because when I played Zard yesterday, the amount of Zard mirrors I hit was ridiculous. And then I play Dialga and then I barely see a single Charizard. It's kind of weird. I don't know. There's something weird about matchups. I might actually test it out. You never know. If I ever get interested enough to just like, you know, let's say take a Dialga, queue for 20 games and then just like log in an Excel sheet, like what I come up against. And then, you know, go to 20 games queue with Charizard, right? But the thing is, I'm going to have to like win the games or try and win the games to keep it as fair as possible. Unless I just lose it, I scoop every game on purpose to then just rule out the win streak determining, the ELO determining where you're at. If you just lose all the time and you're losing constantly, then I guess it won't have as much of an effect, I guess, if it's like win-loss, win-loss. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but that's a variable that's, well, in psychology, it's called an extraneous variable. One that will have effect on the outcome, but you can't control it. But it might be an extraneous, it might be an EV. If that's the case, then you're going to do so much. But I'd love to just try it out and see, because the matchups you get are just weird, man. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed as well that it's just a bit strange. I want to see if there is something there. But either way, blood is waffling. There's Gholdengo. They're probably going to get a KO. Gholdengo's actually like relatively tough because they can OHKO you. Obviously, you can OHKO them. And we are ahead on the price trade. So I remember sitting there thinking at this point, well, if I just keep taking knockouts and I just win anyway, right? It's on them to reset the price trade. So I think I was kind of talking about that in stream going, right, they're going to knock me out here. But as long as I can knock them out, we're fine. Which means I have to just do the Chronos play on the Gholdengo. Obviously, I would rather Chronos a single prizer and then KO Gholdengo for 3 prizes to then put me at 2 left. But that's a privilege that I don't have right now. So I go for a Greninja here, thinking about the sequencing, still learning a lot about sequencing. You know, when do I Metang, when do I not? You know, do I Metang before drawing with supporter cards? But then I discovered another play here, and I was like, oh, let's try this. I am going to accelerate to the Mew. I saw 2 Gimmighoul's on the, and that's an insane Metang hit, by the way. Accelerate to the Mew, insane Metang hit. And go, do you know what? I'm going to retreat, attach. I'm going to boss up Ninja. Oh, wait, I'm not. We got hit with a bug where I couldn't boss Radiant Greninja. I could get anything else. I could get the Gimmighoul. I could get the Palkia, but I couldn't boss the Ninja. It wouldn't let me. You've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. That put me on full tilt, bro. I was like, let me just go for the Gimmighoul, bro. Take 2 prizes here, you know? Now, obviously, I think it was a misplay because they could just boss up my Dialga, you know? But then I was like, oh, but I can Zamazenta and at least try and come back that way. I still think it was a bad play. I think I should have just gone for the Dialga, double Chronos, try to set up another Dialga, and then just try and take KOs that way and win. But I was so tilted. I was like, bro, you've got to be kidding me. Really? I boss up the Greninja and it says, no, you're not allowed. ptcgl, man. Why can't you sort yourself out? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But the reaction on stream was quite fun. I've uploaded a short of that clip reaction. So if you want to check it out, it's on the YouTube channel. It's also on Twitter. If you've probably seen it there, maybe. But yeah, I just like full tilt and went, you know what? Nah, I'm conceding. I'm not taking it. I'll take the -10 instead of trying to work my way around it and just go into another one. So we're at 340 now. Need to win 3 games, I think, in order to actually get somewhere. I think it's 3 games. Let me just double. Yeah, I think it's 3 games in order to get to that Corviknight. So we've got to have a pretty good record here in order to do something. Not sure we're up against here. Ah, Mimikyu. So I believe this is a Gardevoir. So again, I actually ran into quite a few Mimikyus as well. So it's like an uptick in Gholdengo, an uptick in Mimikyu hits. It just feels a bit crafted, you know? But that's like me being tinfoil hat, you know? Either way, it's Gardevoir. I'm like, okay, there's the Mimikyu. We have outs to Mimikyu, it's fine. We've got obviously Mew EX, which we wouldn't want in this matchup because it's an easy 2 prizer. We also have Zamazenta, right? And instantly I'm like, Zamazenta, eyeing it up. But instead I'm like, no, I'm going to go for this. I can boss around it for the time being. If the Mimikyu comes up and becomes a nuisance, I can always just find it. But going second, love having the Beldum Mini active going second, being able to go for a play. I do get Greninja here, and I think I'm eyeing up the Poffin, but I don't go for it. I think this is a bit of a misplay, mind you. I think I could have got Greninja, but I think I should have Poffined at least for 1 more Beldum, because if this Beldum goes down, I need 2 Metang to like have the best odds of hitting Chronos. And if they take a KO here, it's kind of trouble. And that's kind of what I was thinking. However, it is Gardevoir, so, you know, they can whiff sometimes and not be able to take the KO on their second turn because they don't get the rare Candy Guardi. There's an Arven, though. They might be able to get it. I don't actually remember how this went. I think at this point, I was still talking to chat about that Gholdengo, about that boss failure. But no, clearly I'm eyeing up the Poffin. But I think I should have done that earlier for the 1 extra Beldum, anticipating a knockout. And even if not a knockout, then my odds of getting Star Chronos just increased dramatically too. So I'm kind of, yeah, I'm not sure if that was correct. But who gives a damn? We're having fun. So there's no Gardevoir, so we are safe for this turn. That's good. I was also eyeing up the boss Greninja with the Mew EX to take out both Curliers. But I was just too tilted to commit to it and too traumatized. You know, I'm like, no, not again. Not again. And I don't think I have the hand to do it either, if I'm correct. So now I'm kind of sitting there going, what do I do here? I think I need to thin out. I up another Dialga because I'm like, well, what I was worried about, actually, I think I remember now what I was saying. I was worried about Screamtail because if they get a Screamtail KO my Dialga V, I just hit my mic. Then I'm kind of screwed because I still need to pull off a Chronos this game in order to get anywhere. So I'm like, yeah, I need to do 2 Dialga. Because if they do go for the Screamtail, at least I still have Dialga active for Chronos because I still need to work on that. So that was kind of my thought process. Don't know if that was correct, but I was just trying to be aware of the Screamtail. We did whiff the Zamazenta as well, which sucked. I'm like, bro, I just KO the Mimikyu and we're fine. You know, it's going to be single prizes mostly anyway, so it'd be nice to like Mimikyu, Star Chronos, and then boss up Mew EX or Gardevoir, take 4 prizes through that route, and then boss up the Mew EX for game. That was like the perfect prize trade in my head at that point, if I got the KO of Zamazenta, but I whiffed it, so now I have to take a different route. Maybe going for a potential boss Chronos on the Mew, a KO on the Gardevoir, and then some 2 single prize KOs. That's kind of like the only thing I'm thinking of in this matchup. But it is tough. However, the extra turn, man, it's just so good. Dialga is just so good, man. And it's nice to see it actually get its respect. Where everyone's like, yeah, it's kind of like a tier 2 deck. It's not that great. You know, you've got other tier 1s and then you've got Charizard in S tier. And everyone's like, no. Dialga's definitely up there. Tier 1, definitely tier 1. Maybe on the lower end of tier 1, but it's definitely tier 1, I think. I think it's leveled up, I guess you could say now. But anyway, they go for the Drifloon. An easy KO for us, granted. But in fact, I could always do Beldum attacks. I didn't even think about the potential of attacking with Beldum in this deck. I'm just going for that 20. But I'm just eyeing up the Chronos play. And here we go, boss. We get that from the gear. So I'm sitting there going, right, I've got a Chronos now. I've got to get some good hits. I decided to go for the Metang and not Ultra Ball because I didn't want to Ultra Ball the way to Iono. And I needed that attachment. But unfortunately, we did whiff it. However, I'm now sitting there going, well, I still have the boss KO on Mew, right? I kind of probably should just boss it and knock it out. And I go for that. So I'm like, it's still 2 prizes. It's going to keep us in the game. And it's fine. I could start Chronos, knock out the Guardi. That's an easy 2 prizer there. And then try and figure it out. I try and reuse Zamazenta again at some point. Force a single prize board state where... This is what I think Dialga is kind of underappreciated by people is you have the ability in your deck to just become a single prize deck, right? You can just go, okay, I'm going to Dialga, and then as long as you play carefully, you can just go, right, okay, I'm going to be a single prizer. Obviously, I've not been careful because I had to bench that other Dialga to be sure of things, but they just scoop, and I'm happy with that because I was like, fine. Yeah, it was getting a bit complicated, but look at this. We're now matching up against someone at 950. That's borderline Master League, mate. I don't get it. I haven't paid attention. I should have been. Has the people I'm playing against, has the ranks gone up over time as I've gone on a win streak? If it has, then that does suggest another Mimikyu. Ridiculous, huh? That does also suggest that you actually match up against higher ranks if you're on a win streak, which would make sense. That makes perfect sense in a ranked ladder is you should match up against higher ranked people. But like, bro, match up against higher ranked people in Great Ball League. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't throw me up to bloody Master Ball League because I'm doing well at Great Ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like a way to kind of make the game seem competitive at every level, right? Which is true. It does make that happen. Like if you're in Great Ball and you match up against someone in Master Ball League, it's like, bro, you're gonna have a tough game regardless, right? And it actually technically makes it a bit harder to get out of Great Ball when in reality rank shouldn't work that way. Look at that boss KO on Greninja. Lovely. Rank should operate in the sense of, right, you are fine. You're on a win streak in your rank. We'll match you up against the best players in your rank, right? Because if you're winning so much in that rank, you shouldn't be in that rank. You should be out of that rank. You should rise above that rank, right? So it should be, let's say in your Great Ball League, and you're performing really well as if you deserve to be in Arceus League. Then they shouldn't match you up against people whilst in Great Ball League with people in Arceus League. They should say, right, we're going to give you the best in your league. So the best in Great Ball League, the people who are also on very good win streaks. And then at the same time, we're going to keep doing that because then if you are clearly good enough to be outside of Great Ball League, then you're going to get out of it very quickly. And that makes sure that the ranked ladder is spread correctly, right? If people belong in Great Ball League, they should be in Great Ball League and playing against people in Great Ball League. If you belong in Arceus League, it should be so easy for you to get out of Great Ball League because you just thrash everyone in Great Ball League at that skill level, thrash everyone in Ultra Ball, and just end up in Arceus, right? But with the way this ELO system is working, it's matching you up against players that are already as good as you and already in the leagues above you, that it's like, oh, well, now it's so much harder for me to get out of Great Ball League because I'm matching up against people who are clearly equally as good as me in a league they've already gotten to that I'm not in yet. Are you following me? It's basically what it does is it creates a false sense of competitiveness in every league. Then it kind of just defeats the purpose of the ladder. It's like, right, if I'm going to play against people in Arceus League, if I'm in Great Ball League, then it doesn't matter if I'm in Arceus League, right? Because I'm going to play against them anyway. So, well, not so much Arceus. I think Arceus, you actually just match up against Arceus League most of the time. But, Master Ball League, whatever. It just, I don't know. I think it's done weirdly. It's not technically ranked at that point then. But I still want to get to Arceus League to prove the concept that you can go from 0 to Arceus. And look at this. Master Ball. I'm in Great Ball. I'm being ranked playing Deoxys. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't be happening. I should be matching up against people in Great Ball League and people who are win streaks. So that way the game is difficult. But I'm also at the skill level that Great Ball League should represent. So what's happening now, unfortunately, and this is the last time I'll probably comment on this, but we're not actually seeing a ranked ladder. We're seeing a how much time can you commit to ladder. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing a ladder that is much more about, because look, all you need is a 40% win rate. And if you win and if you keep going, you're going to get to Arceus, right? So it's not so much about skill. Obviously, there is a skill element, but it just feels more about time. It's more like, okay, if you just play and win most of your games, or if you win half of your games, if you just play, and let's be real, most of us are winning 50-50, right? It's going to be, you have to be pretty, I wouldn't say terrible, but you're not going to be that good of a game if you're losing more than you're winning, right? So if you're at a level that I'm at, or if you're just at a level where, you know, you just like playing the game and you do play meta decks and stuff like that, you're going to win. You're going to have a higher than 50% win rate, usually. And so then it just says, right, if you just play, you're going to get to Arceus no matter what, right? And at that point, that's kind of silly because you should, in my opinion, you should really be getting to Arceus League if you're at like a 70% win rate. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like really good, because then it gives the Arceus League value. It's like, oh, Arceus League is difficult. If someone's in Arceus League, they're a good player, you know? I don't know why I'm losing my nonsense there. I don't know why I'm flipping about all over the place there. I think I'm annoyed at the fact that the last game is against someone in Master Ball League and it's also an Armourouge deck. It's like everything that's wrong. It's like, okay, you're matching up against a very good player and also they're playing a deck that counters you. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying about it being a bit weird? It's like, this is your rank up game. We're going to give you the hardest game possible to simulate the idea of difficulty. It just feels like that. Again, I am absolutely waffling. Don't get me wrong. I could be so far off, but it feels that way. But enough complaining about ranked. Obviously, one way to offset that is just add a leaderboard. So then at that rate, Arceus doesn't matter, but the leaderboard does. That's an easy way to fix that problem. But yeah, it does feel like the way the ELO system is working, it just doesn't feel like ranked. Like in Counter-Strike, because I played ranked Counter-Strike. If you're like, I remember being like Elite Master Guardian, right? Which is a rank. You know, if you played a game and you matched up against someone who's Global Elite, which is like the best rank in Counter-Strike, you're like, what the hell? You know, that just doesn't happen because, you know, they're too good, clearly, because they're in bloody Global Elite, and then you're just going to get absolutely squashed. And that happens here. But either way, enough of that nonsense. We are popping off here. Thankfully, we're able to just boss KO the Delphox with the Star Chronos and go, nah. And then they promote the Arceus? Brother. As soon as they done that, I was like, GG. They just gave me a KO. What, that you promote the Charcadet? You always promote the Charcadet there. They promoted Arceus, and yeah, that was that writing on the wall. We have got to Corviknight. So nice and easy. So on that stream, I think I went from like Greninja all the way to Corviknight. So it's like a 2-hour stream. So definitely will be climbing out. And I'm also eyeing up the Ultra Ball League now. And I think we need, how many points? 120 rank points, which is barely anything. That's like 6 wins to get to Ultra Ball League. And then hopefully we can crawl our way to Master Ball and then Arceus. But for now, we are in Corviknight, and I will be doing these more regularly, of course. I'll be trying to aim them weekly, Mondays on the stream on Twitch. If you want to check it out, it'll be in the mornings. We'll try it there. But yeah, thanks for watching. As always, we're going to leave it there. And Dialga, whoa!